Hello and welcome to Sam's Stories. Today I'll be reading Horrid Henry's Hobby from Horrid Henry and the Mummy's Curse by Francesca Simon. Out of my way, worm! Shrieked Horrid Henry, pushing past his younger brother Perfect Peter and dashing into the kitchen. No! Screamed Perfect Peter. He scrambled after Henry and clutched his leg. Get off me! Shouted Henry. He grabbed the unopened Sweet Tweet cereal box. Na 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 na, I got it first. Perfect Peter lunged for the Sweet Tweet box and snatched it from Henry. But it's my turn! No, mine, shrieked Horrid Henry. He ripped open the top and stuck his hand inside. It's mine! Shrieked Peter. He ripped open the bottom. A small wrapped toy fell to the floor. Henry and Peter both lunged for it. Give me that! But it's my turn to have it! Yelled Peter. Stop being horrid, Henry! Shouted Mum. Now give me that thing! Henry and Peter both held on tight. No! Screamed Henry and Peter. It's my turn to have the toy! Horrid Henry and Perfect Peter both collected gizmos from inside Sweet Tweet cereal boxes. So did everyone at their school. There were 10 different coloured gizmos to collect, from the common green to the rare gold. Both Henry and Peter had gizmos of every colour, except for one. Gold. Right, said Mum. Whose turn is it to get the toy? Mine! Screamed Henry and Peter. He got the last one, screeched Henry. Remember, he opened the new box and got the blue gizmo? It was true that Perfect Peter had got the blue gizmo 2 boxes ago. But why should Peter get any? If he hadn't started collecting gizmos to copy me, thought Henry resentfully, I'd get every single one. No! Howled Peter. He burst into tears. Henry opened the last box. Cry, baby, jeered Henry. Stop it, said Peter. Stop it, mimicked Henry. Mom, Henry's teasing me, wailed Peter. I remember now, said Mum. It's Peter's turn. Thank you, Mum, said Perfect Peter. It's not fair, screamed Horrid Henry as Peter tore open the wrapping. There was a gold gleam. Oh, my goodness, gasped Peter. A gold gizmo! Horrid Henry felt as if he'd been punched in the stomach. He stared at the glorious, glowing golden gizmo. It's not fair, howled Henry. I want a gold gizmo. I'm sorry, Henry, said Mum. It'll be your turn next. But I want the gold one, screamed Henry. He leaped on Peter and yanked the gizmo out of his hand. He was Hurricane Henry, uprooting everything in his path. Help! Howled Peter. Stop being horrid, Henry, or no more gizmos for you, shouted Mum. Now clean up this mess and get dressed. No! Howled Henry. He ran upstairs to his room, slamming the door behind him. He had to have a gold gizmo. He simply had to. No one at school had a gold one. Henry could see himself now, the centre of attention, everyone pushing and shoving just to get a look at his gold gizmo. Henry could charge 20p a peek. Everyone would want to see it and to hold it. Henry would be invited to every birthday party. Instead, Peter would be the star attraction. Henry gnashed his teeth just thinking about it. But how could he get one? You couldn't buy gizmos. You could only get them inside Sweet Tweet cereal boxes. Mum was so mean, she made Henry and Peter finish the old box before she'd buy a new one. Henry had eaten mountains of Sweet Tweet cereal to collect all his gizmos. All that hard work would be in vain unless he got a gold one. He could, of course, steal Peter's. But Peter would be sure to notice and Henry would be the chief suspect. He could swap. Yes, he would offer Peter 2 greens. That was generous. In fact, that was really generous. But Peter hated doing swaps. For some reason, he always thought Henry was trying to cheat him. And then suddenly, Henry had a brilliant, spectacular idea. True, it did involve a little teeny, teensy-weensy bit of trickery. But Henry's cause was just. He had been collecting gizmos far longer than Peter had. He deserved a gold one, and Peter didn't. So, you got a gold gizmo, said Henry, popping into Peter's room. I'm really sorry. Perfect Peter looked up from polishing his gizmos. Why, he said suspiciously, everyone wants a gold gizmo. Horrid Henry looked sadly at Perfect Peter. Not any more. They're very unlucky, you know. Every single person who's got one has died horribly. Perfect Peter stared at Henry, then at his golden gizmo. That's not true, Henry. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Horrid Henry walked slowly round Peter's room. Every so often he made a little note in a notebook. Marbles, check. 3 nights, check. Nature kit, nah. Coin collection, check. What are you doing? Said Peter. Just looking round your stuff to see what I want when you're gone. Stop it, said Peter. You just made that up about gold gizmos, didn't you? No, said Henry. It's all in the newspapers. There was a boy out walking his dog who fell into a pit of molten lava. There was a girl who drowned in the loo. And then that poor boy who... I don't want to die, said Perfect Peter. He looked pale. What am I going to do? Henry paused. There's nothing you can do. Once you've got it, you're sunk. Peter jumped up. I'll throw it away. That wouldn't work, said Henry. You'd still be jinxed. There's only one way out. What? Said Perfect Peter. If you give the gold away to someone brave enough to take it, then the jinx passes to them. But no one will take it from me, wailed Peter. Tell you what, said Henry. I'll take the risk. Are you sure? Said Peter. Of course, said Horrid Henry. You're my brother. You risk your life for me. Okay, said Peter. He handed Henry the gold gizmo. Thank you, Henry. You're the best brother in the world. I know, said Horrid Henry. He actually had his very own gold gizmo in his hand. It was his, fair and square. He couldn't wait to see Moody Margaret's face when he waved it in front of her. And Rudolph, he would be green with envy. Then Perfect Peter burst into tears and ran downstairs. Mum, he wailed. Henry's going to die and it's all my fault. What? Screeched Mum. Uh-oh, thought Henry. He clutched his treasure. Mum stormed upstairs. She snatched the gold gizmo from Henry. How could you be so horrid? Shouted Mum. No TV for a week. Poor Peter. Now get ready, we're going shopping. No, howled Henry. I'm not going. Horrid Henry scowled as he followed Mum up and down the aisles of the happy shopper. He'd crashed the cart into some people so Mum wouldn't let him push it. Then she caught him filling the cart with crisps and fizzy drinks and made him put them all back. What a horrible, rotten day this had turned out to be. Yum, cabbage, said Perfect Peter. Could we get some? Certainly, said Mum. And spinach, my favourite, said Peter. Help yourself, said Mum. I want sweets, screamed Henry. No, said Mum. I want doughnuts, screamed Henry. No, screamed Mum. There's nothing to eat here, shrieked Henry. Stop being horrid, Henry, hissed Mum. Everyone's looking. I don't care. Well, I do, said Mum. Now make yourself useful. Go and get a box of sweet tweets. All right, said Henry. Now was his chance to escape. Before Mum could stop him, he grabbed a cart and whizzed off. Watch out for the racing driver, squealed Henry. Shoppers scattered as he zoomed down the aisle and screeched to a halt in front of the cereal section. There were the sweet tweets, a huge pile of them in a display tower under a twinkling sign saying, a free gizmo in every box, collect them all. Henry reached for a box and put it in his cart. And then Horrid Henry stopped. What was the point of buying a whole box if it just contained another green gizmo? Henry didn't think he could bear it. I'll just check what's inside, he thought. Then, if it is a green one, I'll be prepared for the disappointment. Carefully, he opened the box and slipped his hand inside. Aha! There was the toy. He lifted it out and held it up to the light. Rats, a green gizmo, just what he had feared. But wait, there was bound to be a child out there longing for a green gizmo to complete his collection just as much as Henry was longing for a gold. Wouldn't it be selfish and horrid of Henry to take a green he didn't need when it would make someone else so happy? I'll just peek inside one more box, thought Horrid Henry, replacing the box he'd opened and reaching for another. Rip! He tore it open. Red. Thought Henry. Red is surplus to requirements. Rip. Another box opened. Blue. Rip, rip, rip. Green, green, blue. I'll just try one more at the back, thought Henry. He stood on tiptoe and stretched as far as he could. His hand reached inside the box and grabbed hold of the toy. The tower wobbled. Crash! Horrid Henry sprawled on the ground. Henry was covered in sweet tweets. So was the floor. So were all the shoppers. "Help!" screamed the manager, skidding in the mess. "Whose horrid boy is this?" There was a long silence. "Mine," whispered Mum. Horrid Henry sat in the kitchen, surrounded by boxes and boxes and boxes of sweet tweets. He'd be eating sweet tweets for breakfast, lunch and dinner for weeks. But it was worth it, thought Henry happily. Banned for life from Happy Shopper. How wonderful! He uncurled his hand to enjoy again the glint of gold. Although he had noticed that Scrummy Yummies were offering a free Twizzle card in every box. Twizzle cards. Thank you for listening and please subscribe.